This is Matt from Dice of the Round Table. Thanks for checking out this video. This one, I don't know what I'm going to call it. It's going to be miniature comparison, maybe? Someone threw a question out there to me about Monsterpocalypse figures and their use in other things. And so kind of took me down a bunny trail, and I just pulled a whole bunch of things I had to show comparing of scales, because some things work well together and some things it's like, ugh, what is going on here? Like the video if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for giving me your time today. Let's get to the table. So let's get with what I was asked originally to show off, and that was the Monsterpocalypse. And I went with the monstrous ones to get an idea first about what we're looking at. So this is Monsterpocalypse from Privateer Press, and this is Monsterpocalypse, one of their armored infantry, and I'm showing that for a reason for a little bit, so we have some variety in the scalings. Okay, so let's talk about one of my things I play a lot of, bolt action, because maybe I could use this as like a King Kong Godzilla type thing. And how would it scale? Well, as you can see, the infantry come about right here on him. So using this with some of these figures doesn't quite work. But if you wanted to use the power armor here as a 28mm power armor trooper, the scale actually works pretty well. And I know there's a lot of miniature agnostic games out there, or we use things for other games as well. So that's bolt action. This is a skeleton from Rune Wars using the Rune Wars bases, and you can see this matches up with that pretty well. For the big old monstrosity, the scale is a little bit different. So let's put those two back there. Here is a D&D owlbear as a monster, and you can tell that it is very comparable to the big bad from Monsterpocalypse. The little ones are down to about the legs, so that gives you an idea about the owlbear. Okay, next up, let's talk about this. This is a I forget what this was. I picked these up just because I liked the figure a couple years ago, but this is from Weird's Malifaux 2nd edition. So you can tell, again, comparable size. We got something with bolt action. I could see bolt action using with this, and would scale pretty well with D&D Adventures and Rune War figures. This little spider is from Descent, very comparable to the little troop types from Monsterpocalypse. Could go with the big bad and interaction, or as a giant spider if you're playing K-47 maybe. Now let's talk about Infinity. Infinity, I probably wouldn't have much reason to overlap with monsters. I haven't seen much done with that. However, Infinity and the Power Armor Trooper are very close in size, along with the bolt action figure. So again, 28mm is about accurate, a little bit small for Rune Wars. Let's do Dead Zone. So Mantic's Dead Zone, I have a Plague and Enforcer here. So if I put these up against the Infinity, definitely a little bit taller, and putting up to maybe coming across something like this in space. This is, or the Destroyer version, again, not quite as intimidating to me, but just maybe a big unit on some type of pumped up chemical maybe. Bolt action, definitely smaller. We want to use maybe something like this as a stand-in for a monstrosity of some sort for the Plague. Doable. Also, the other consideration is like another game, Zona Alpha. Zona Alpha has the ability to have some different things mixed in with it. Space Marine. Space Marine definitely would not probably be too intimidated, because again, Space Marines in 40K fight things much bigger than either of these two. The power armor from Monsterpocalypse looks like baby brother, and when we go over this way, you can tell that the Enforcer is similar, but a little bit on the smaller side of the I just lost the, because these are the Primaris. So definitely the Enforcer would be more comparable to an old school Space Marine, and definitely bigger than Atlantic. We got some Star Wars Legion. Definitely could see something like this. Maybe they're going to face something like this. Not as intimidating as a Rancor size-wise, but definitely could be something you would consider. And so using some of this maybe for Zona Alpha, that could be usable as an assault rifle here. And bolt action 28mm, Infinity, you can definitely see the increased size. Even if I did the power armor from the Monsterpocalypse, it's still a little bit on the short side. Mantic's Dead Zone, a little bit more on in par. Oh, I forgot the Cultist. This is our Cultist from 40K. Again, a little bit bigger than 28. Kind of can go with the Monsterpocalypse. And I do use this for Zona Alpha. I've used this for Zona Alpha. These Infinity I was tempted to use for Zona Alpha. Enforcers I have. Next up, here is the die-cast D&D miniature. Definitely you can tell it's bigger than Dead Zone. Definitely more in line with Legion, but still technically taller. And it's going to be probably back here with the Space Marine Primaris for size. Now, I threw in some Battletech to give you an idea about another more of the 15mm or so scale. So if I had some maybe wild creatures with Battletech figures, this is how we compare. So this is supposed to be 30-foot tall monstrosity of a battle mech walking through downtown, and or 300 feet, 30 meters. So again, you can see the size comparison here, and then we have the comparison. So definitely could use maybe this as a stand-in as a battle mech, but again, not much on the weapon side, so definitely will use that as a lighter mech. Comparison is there. So thanks for checking out this video again. This was just what I have, and I mess around with what I want to use as overlap between some things like Frostgrave. Do I want to use something for a Frostgrave, not use for Frostgrave? Kind of gives you an idea how the different things scale next to each other. But hope it was useful to someone maybe newer into the hobby when we talk about scales and how things are interchangeable, and you start seeing how different some things are. The base size on like Legion is very thick compared to Dead Zone or some other or even Monsterpocalypse from Privateer Press, which just use that very thin acrylic base. So thanks for tuning in, and catch you in another one.